Tales from the Beachside, a tribute to museum volunteer Barbara Zafuto. Today, Barb takes the Flagler Avenue walking tour to the Charles Dummett gravesite.
This is called the tomb in the middle of the road. Okay? His name was Charles Dummett. And I'll talk about his father first, because you kind of need to know that to explain him. Charles's father was named Douglas Dummett, and he was born in Barbados, 1807. He became postmaster in St. Augustine. Well, that was a powerful position, but he wasn't real happy. His father says, look, just look around, get out of town and go look around. Well, how could he get out of town? The mail boat, of course. The mail boat went from St. Augustine, stopped at a few stops, and then went to Eldora. So the mail boat went to Eldora, where he would, swap the mail. And then on the way back, Douglas says, aren't you gonna stop over there? And he says, well, no, the pilot said, there's no real thing, there's nothing. He said, well, could I stop there though? And they said, sure. So they stop at the wharf, and he says, well, where do I stay? And he says, just go to any of those houses, knock on a door. They all have rooms to let, because that's what you did in the old days. So he did, and he looks around, and there's really nothing in town. But they talk about, when he says citrus, they say, oh yeah, there's good citrus down at Turnbull Bay, which is a little bit north of town. And so he went up to see. It was the time when you could pick citrus, so he did. And the oranges were sweet. And what he had noticed here was the oranges were sour. Well, here's a puzzle for him. Now he's got to think, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's going to figure this one out. To make a long story short, he does. He learns how to graft. He was the first person ever to graft the sweet on the sour. And so he is called the father of Indian River fruit. He's in the Citrus Hall of Fame. That was it. Boy, he had made it. And so now he's going to work on that. He's going to build a house just down here, and he's going to do it. That will be what he wants to do. So now he tells his father, I found it. Now I know what I want to do.
Lucky Douglas.
Douglas, anyway, is down there, and now what happens is he meets a woman of color. This is the trouble with research. Was she a Negro? Was she a mulatto? I don't know what she was. Right. But she was a woman of color, everyone agrees. And so he has already built his house down there. He builds a cabin behind it because she can't live with him. That's just how it was in those days. And so together somehow they have 3 children, 3 girls, and then 1 boy. Here's the 1 boy.
Oh, his son.
Yes. And so he gives his son the same deal his father did. I'd like you to be educated, and I know where that is. That's called Connecticut. So he sends him up to boarding school, goes to boarding school, and you see by the years, he was born in 1844, and now we're talking about 1861. And so he tells his father in letter, it's the only way you do it, that he wants to come home and go hunting, because the hunting is phenomenal here. You have to imagine this little place with a very thick forest and no houses, no nothing. Yeah. And this is what he wanted to do, come back and go hunting. So he comes back, and the first day he's home, he says to his dad, okay, I want to go hunting. And his father says, now this is all unreliable research, so don't take it too seriously. But anyhow.
But anyway, the end result.
Yeah, so his father says, be sure you're home by dark. Of course. And so he doesn't get home by dark. And his father starts looking because he took a rowboat. Finds the rowboat here, starts walking in, and very soon finds him on the ground dead.
Shot.
Gunshot wound. Okay?
His own?
Don't know. No medical examiners. What can I do, But he buries him right here. He says, I'll bury him where he lies. And then he thinks better of that because there's too many animals around. And so he soon orders this. It's marble. It just looks really beat out by the sun. And so it's been here since then. Wow. And so things happen. And he's very unhappy after Douglas is very unhappy after Charles dies. He doesn't know what he's going to do. He's got a wonderful product now. He knows what he can do with it. And so he actually moves to Hallover Canal, which is about Oak Hill. And Hallover is where the Mosquito Lagoon almost meets the Indian River. Later they dug Hallover Canal to make it complete.
So this is the Indian River out here?
Yes, North Indian River. And so he takes his woman of color and the kids, and they build a house down there, and then they build another one a little farther down, and that's where he spends the rest of his life. But first, he has gone to Mosquito County, which is what this used to be a part of, and deeded this little plot of land to the county as a private cemetery. When Mosquito County divided up into the other counties that it is now, this became Volusia County. And so they transferred that deed to Volusia County. When the city of New Smyrna became a city with a charter, they transferred it to the city. So the city owns this little private cemetery. However, it's the neighbors that keep it up.